This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, welcome to the week 3 critique, looking at the discussion board and everybody's identity packages. And we're going to start off with Brad because you were the first one here. And then we'll do Galena. All right, so Granny Secret, you did an awesome job with your logo from your sketch. You pulled it together. It's got a lot of personality. It's a lot of fun. You've got a lockup here, a horizontal lockup that you're using fairly consistently. This color, which I think was your assigned color, right? All right, Kalina, you can just watch and learn. It's neat, it's well done. Here's what you're missing, Brad. You need some sort of secondary element to give it more branding. The color is a good start, but you could use textures, patterns. You could even give it a paper texture or a paper color, like a slight cream color or something like that. In your logo exploratory, you might have had a logo that didn't make it, but could be used as a tile for a pattern. Does that make sense? I think your typography, you could have a little more character to it. I know you haven't had typography yet, but it feels kind of very contemporary. And I think it should be like a little more old-fashioned, although your cartoon style is a little bit contemporary. I don't know, it's really looking good, so I like it. I just want to see a few more elements. Like maybe there's a flood of bourbon down here and the type is knocked out. Yeah, I'm just, yeah, this is done exactly right. So it's just a matter of playing with it. You have till Sunday, so it's fun. You can have some fun with it. Your color palette overall looks good. You could have pulled colors from the logo. I get that. Your assigned color is kind of in a light value. So you got a darker value here that helps give some contrast. Yeah, you spec'd everything out properly. Great. Yeah, so I'll just jump back to my lecture. So for a refresher for everybody, but. So ideas for a visual exploration, natural elements, perhaps. I don't know if that works for you, but texture, like a wood texture, that might be good for Granny. Patterns, fun to play with. Paper, what kind of paper is it on? And then, like I said, maybe your rejected logos become sort of a graphic element that you could add. Color can also include gradients if you want that. So yeah, I like your bottle. If you have that bottle as a totally separate element and maybe add it with some other things, you could create sort of reduce the contrast a bit and make it a pattern, shrink it down a bit, play with that, see what that looks like. I know you had other stuff too, so, but good job so far. All right. Let's go back to here, Amber. So blood orange chocolate, and you're struggling with the logo type. Putting it in this arc is making it kind of invisible. Blue, yeah, it feels like sun has gone blue or something. I'm trying to look at this. All right. But your logo type should be much larger. Look at the Full Sail setup, try to mimic that a bit. You've got a different logo idea here. This one's a little better, I think. Neither one of them have any sort of Spanish influence. This one looks a little like a basketball. I think this one's better, but taking the logo, the company name down to BOC, which no one's going to know what that is not a good idea. You want to have a strong type. Think of it this way, the logo type is really what people are looking at, and the logo, the icon, is really just attracting attention to it. So if you think of it that way, it'll help you proportion this properly. As far as the designs go, the only sort of secondary element you're adding is the color in the form of a border and in the flood back envelope. I would love to see more richness, more stuff. It's Spanish, so there's Spanish patterns and things like that. I even look at these two little leaves here. I kind of think you should go with this logo. You could turn that into a pattern of some type. And borders are very kind of staid, and particularly this border is just a plain bar. So maybe steer away from that. Now your letterhead, remember, is a frame for an actual letter. So typically you get the logo upper left or centered, and then type at the bottom for the info. If I'm going over here to Behance, look at this, go to Behance and look up identity packages, branding, and you'll see all kinds of cool examples of things you can do to give you inspiration, ideas of what to do. Some of these are pretty extensive, but it's a great place to get a little boost. So consider that. All right. Dominic, Thor's coffee. Okay, so your assigned color, I know, is red, and I don't see red anywhere. Your logo should have red in it. The helmet probably should be red. The identity package, as it's shown here, really the only branding is the logo. You're not really using colors, patterns, textures, anything else to sort of bring it to life more. The lightning bolts, if you sort of did those monochromatic, you could create a little pattern or something there. The envelope is all the default gray, so change that up and get it looking like it's its own brand. And make sure you're using your assigned color as you build out your color palette. All right, Francisco, this is a beautiful logo, very nice. You have this magenta, I think is your assigned color, and you used it well with this green. The one thing I'd say about your logo type, you could give this some hierarchy. So Layla's could be really big as that's the brand, and then Fairtrade Coffee, smaller underneath. And then your type could be bigger in relation to your to your icon. All right. And then Andrew, I think this is yours. Yeah, Pacific Coast Orchards. All right, so you've got a colorful logo. Your type is too small. It's very geometric. It's a basket of fruit. I see that in a mountain. I like the idea of it. I feel like execution-wise, it could be sort of tightened up a little bit, and the type needs to be much bigger. And again, there's no secondary elements here, no color usage in the background, on the envelope, on any of the pieces. So as you go forward, you want to think about that. Maybe Pacific Coast Orchards has sort of a, a wooden pattern in the background, piece of wood, texture, something like that. Keep your envelope light so you can print on it, same thing with the letterhead, but you could still add some other elements to give it more branding. All right, so next up, we're gonna go to Chris. Yeah, so Chris, this is yours. Shaman tea, sort of an angry totem. I forget what the assigned color is. There's a lot of color in its logo. The type is invisible. I mean, it's so tiny and thin and black on dark violet. So type much bigger, do a lockup so that it's the same everywhere. Get out of the black arena. This is a natural product from South America. There's all sorts of textures, patterns, and things like that that you could use to dress this up. Your letter right now just looks like a big block of text. It should look more like a letter. And you need a return address. The name of the company is not visible anywhere. Your logo is not visible on your envelope at all, and it's all the default gray. So embrace your brand and make everything look like they belong together as part of a unique brand that you're creating. All right, Drake, this logo, I like how it came out. It's spooky, it's fun, it's weird. The halftone, it works well when it's a wave, but when it's just a grid, it feels kind of techy and doesn't really fit the brand that well. Your lockup's kind of difficult because of the shape of the logo and everything, but you're getting there. I know you feel like you want to use black. See if you can come up with something else based on this brand. Maybe the white everywhere is a different color, like a little bit of a tint of something, and that would give it more branding. But overall, you're using a secondary element pretty effectively. I just think maybe if it's more of a wave in all these places where it's a grid, you'd be in good shape. But nice job. All right, Brad, we did. Nice work. That's it. That's all we got. All right. So you added your swatches, Drake. Oh, there you are. I can tell your palette's good. Let me see if I refresh this. There they are. All right, screenshot, don't do that. Just export a JPEG of that page. All right, yeah. Now, so your color palette, the light dark value is sort of close. This is the darkest one, which is good. You've got a bit of a variety, but maybe there's a lighter tint or maybe something darker. It's pretty colorful. So this color, if you use that instead of black, maybe, you've got it, yeah, you sort of got it working there, but like here, maybe take that gradient that you've created there and use that everywhere it's black. Like on your business card. Where's your business card? Yeah, do the gradient there. Is that helpful, Drake? Cool. All right, I like where you're going with this. This is a good one for dark wave. You figured it out. All right, that's it. Any questions before I go? Yeah, looks great. All right, I'm ending the recording.